Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's support session. I'm here with Danette from Michigan. Hey, Danette, tell us a little bit about what is going on and why you reached out for a support session.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I am 47, definitely in like the perimenopause age range now, although I feel pretty good. I'm not having a lot of crazy symptoms, which I know is a good thing. That's great. Let's try to keep it that way.
Right.
But I have questions like, okay, there's so much information on the internet. And even though I have an education in nutrition, like I still have some big questions here of, okay, there you see like the social media influencers or a lot of even just health gurus be like, you need to be eating this many times a day. You need to start your day at a certain time with breakfast. You
Right.
have to hit this much protein and this much fat. And if your macros are not up, you're going to be in like a cortisol fire or like, and like, oh my goodness, like what is real and what is not. And I just really want to like go go into this phase of life, like breathe through menopause, not have any crazy symptoms, support my hormones, make sure that I am setting myself up for like long-term health, longevity. Um, if I could lose even this like extra fluffy 15 pounds that I've been carrying since I turned 40, that would be a huge bonus. Um, and so yeah, that's like my biggest thing is like I feel like there's so much back and forth
Yeah,
in my age group, especially that even though I'm in the wellness industry myself, I'm still confused. So
I get it. Now, have you started intermittent fasting? Or are you living as an intermittent faster? Tell me a little bit about that first before I get into the rest of it.
yeah, I have been kind of dabbling back and forth.
Okay.
Um, I do notice that when and I would say probably the last couple of years, I'll do
Okay.
it for a while and then I don't. And when I'm doing it, I will say I actually feel really great.
Right.
And then, you know what? Like something will come up and it throws you off or throws me off the schedule. And then, oh, well, start over again tomorrow or I'll Monday or whatever, like that same kind of thing. So I really don't want to be like to have this be part of like diet culture. I really
Right.
want this for me to be like, this is just what you do because you feel so good and to know that what I'm doing is supporting my health at my age, my goals. Over the last month, I've definitely gotten a little bit more serious with fasting. And it just amazes me how quickly, like I've been having some aches in like my knees and my elbows. And honestly, after like 2 days of fasting, it goes away.
What approach do you follow when you fast? I'm taking notes, by the way. So,
Okay. Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Well, then that's kind of the question that I had for you because is there an appropriate fasting time for my age group? Because I feel like if I do it intuitively, if I
right.
listen to my body when I start to feel most hungry, I get most hungry between like 11 and 12. I actually feel like my blood sugar starts to drop a little bit. I get a little bit jittery. I'm like, okay, I need to eat now. I've pushed myself beyond that to do like OMAD, where I just wait and eat dinner with my family at say like 5 o'clock. And I feel like I've handled that meal really well. I'm not overly hungry by the time I get to that meal, but it's that noon to 5 that I'm like, oh, it's a struggle. I also know that I'm not doing it completely correct because
Are you not fasting clean?
exactly.
Okay.
And I know that's just a choice, right? Like, I know, like, if I wanna do it that way, I just have to push through and do it, but
So tell me what you're including that's not part of a clean fast.
I'll put, like a little stevia in my
Okay.
coffee, or I'll do, like, a sparkling water, like a LaCroix or, like, a bubbly
Flavored.
flavored.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not willing to fast clean, stop fasting. And you may think, wow, that sounds harsh. But I am a big believer in the benefits of the clean fast. And what we don't want to do is, low calorie diet throughout the day. And then, you feel like we're fasting, but we're not really fasting because we're actually doing a low calorie diet. So what are some of the magical parts about the clean fast? Well, we're keeping our insulin low. And have you seen my video about the clean fast?
Yeah.
Okay. So having your insulin spiking throughout the day is going to keep you on that blood sugar roller coaster, because what does insulin do? Insulin lowers blood sugar, right? So every time you're having that stevia or you're having that flavored water, then your cephalic phase insulin response, okay, something's coming in, pump out a little insulin, and it's just repeated. So that's going to keep you in that blood sugar roller coaster where your blood sugar is crashing, you're not feeling your best. So I would really like to encourage you to say, okay, fasting is not for me because I don't want to fast clean. I'm just going to, do something different. That is a valid choice. But I think you do want to fast.
I
And
do.
so you deserve to fast clean.
Right.
No more flavored waters, no
Okay.
more stevia. You can do it. It makes such a difference that you're going to be amazed. So I'm glad we got that out of the way. So you're going to fast clean, right?
Yes.
All right. So now we're through that. What's the longest you've ever been consistent? I know you haven't fasted clean yet, but what's the longest you've been consistent with a daily eating window? Like where you did it like straight without saying, today I'm not going to do it.
I would say I've probably gotten to like day 9.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I have a homework assignment for you. Do you have 28-day fast start day by day?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Have you worked through it?
No.
Okay. Well, I want you to pretend like you've never fasted before. And since you haven't fasted clean, we can say, all right, but this is the start of your clean fast journey.
Okay.
And I want you to start as if you've never done it at the very beginning, work your way through it. Day 0. All right. Come up with your why, read the part about the clean fast, and really commit that you are not going to go 7 days and then take a day off because it's the weekend. I get it. That kept me stuck for so many years, but you're going to keep going. You're going to make it to day 29 without fail. So now we've got that out of the way. Let's talk about influencers and gurus. You could watch YouTube videos about any topic and find people who seem credentialed
Yeah.
saying the exact opposite thing to one another, right? So
So hard.
I know. So I want you to be your own study of one here. Have you watched my videos with Dr. Tabitha Barber?
I did. Yes.
Okay. So I really would like to encourage anyone who's getting caught up in that messaging about fasting and women to really, go to my channel and look for the videos with Dr. Tabitha Barber. She's a functional medicine OBGYN. She's a hormone expert. And she believes that intermittent fasting is a superpower for us and that we don't need to be all worried about that, especially as you're going through menopause. Women do have to be careful that we're not overdoing any sort of dieting, any sort of fasting. And, we want the right amount of intermittent fasting. So what is the right amount for you? It's the part that feels great and feels like a lifestyle. Now, I started finally consistently doing intermittent fasting in 2014. And so I went through, I've been fasting now for, I guess, 11 years consistently. And so I went through menopause, in the middle of that. And I do think that being an intermittent faster helped me sail through. I'm 55, about to turn 56, and I hit my 1 year of no period, to officially declare myself in menopause at the age of 51. So it's been about 5 years since I've been on the other side of it. I didn't know anything about hormone replacement. I've always wanted to do things naturally. So I was like, oh, I don't have periods anymore. Which, yeah. And it wasn't until Tabitha and I were at an event together. And she's like, you're not on any hormone replacement? I'm like, no. And she got me started with that. And so, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy is absolutely, now that I understand it, now that I've got, some education on it, I'm not a hormone expert, but I have friends who are. So that I don't have to be an expert in that because they are when they tell me what to do. So, as you go through the process and you start to get to the other side of menopause, you are going to want to investigate bioidentical hormone replacement therapy as needed, because that helps us age well. It helps us with our cardiovascular health. It helps us with our blood sugar control. It helps us maintain our muscle mass, all of that, right?
Yes.
That's so important. But
Yeah.
your worries are macros and counting the macros. I will never count another macro ever again. Hallelujah, right? And, think back to before people even understood calories and macros and all of that, we were able to eat without being confused.
Yeah. Yeah. And, even from just a Christian standpoint, I look at this lifestyle and just my life in general of like, okay, how did God design us to eat and fuel our body? And,
Right.
like, how many meals did they eat, in biblical times? And, from what I've studied, it looks like they maybe ate twice a day. It was kind of
And we're also supposed to enjoy our food. If you're looking at the biblical perspective of actually, if you're looking at the religious text of any religion, not just the Christian religion, there's feasting.
yes.
We're meant to enjoy the feasting. And also, every major religion also has fasting.
Yes.
And not only does every major religion have fasting, but it is a part of the religious tradition that you're expected to do.
Yeah.
So, do you think, just if you're thinking about this from a religious perspective, do you think that we would have something in our religion that was expected, but it's also really bad for us and we shouldn't?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay, good.
No, I agree.
That's a good way to think about it. I mean, it's just an ancient practice. There are experts who understand it, like Dr. Tabitha Barber, who are also doctors. And also, she's strong. She
Yeah.
works out. She's got plenty of muscle. So here's what I would recommend you do. First of all, if there's somebody out there that's planting seeds of doubt in your head, I would stop following that person
Yeah.
just
Good.
because it's going to make you really, really confused. You told me in the beginning that you feel better when you fast.
Yeah. I
Me
do.
too. I feel better. Like, I look back at my, 45-year-old self when I weighed 210 pounds and I was obese.
Yeah.
Was that good for my body? I certainly never missed a meal. I was eating first thing in the morning throughout the day. I wasn't fasting. I was not in great health. My metabolic health was terrible. And so you contrast that to now, 55-year-old Jen on the other side of menopause. I'm stronger. I have more endurance. I feel amazing. I don't need naps in the afternoon. My own study of one has taught me that this has only enhanced my health, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the counting the protein and is your muscle going to all fall off?
Right.
The good news is no, but your muscle is not going to all fall off. You do need to intentionally use your muscles though.
Okay.
And I think that's the most important thing. If you find that you're losing muscle mass, that's a sign that you need to work your muscles more. Or if you find that you're unable to build muscle, then you might think, okay, am I eating quality protein? If you're eating quality protein sources, whether that's plants or animal, either one, there are plenty of really strong people who only eat plants. Yeah. You just figure out what protein sources are going to satisfy you, eat those, work to build muscle. And as long as you feel good and you know that you're not, losing muscle and you're able to build muscle, that's as complicated as it needs to be.
So mostly we're overcomplicating things. Yeah.
So, do we need to eat excess protein more than our body needs? Probably not. I don't think so. And from what I understand, if we overeat protein, we gain fat. So I've actually heard from lots of people over these most recent few years where they're following the advice to add more protein
Yeah.
and they start gaining fat
Yeah.
and they start feeling less good, let's just say, and more sluggish. And then they back off and they're like, oh, I didn't need to force all that protein. There's a physician in my community, the Delay Don't Deny community, and I think she's in her upper 40s, so very similar age to you, I think. And she went down that rabbit hole of
Yeah.
adding in protein to hit some target, and she found herself gaining some fat. et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. So now she's backed off of that and is eating protein within her eating window intuitively. She has about a 5-hour window, and she has been updating us recently. She's hitting personal records in strength training.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
I know I feel the same way when I push my protein and really, strive to hit like very specific protein goal that is on the high end. I feel sluggish. My digestive system is not as good. When I scale it back, I'm still getting even to an adequate amount
Right.
of what's recommended for women, but maybe on the lower end, I actually feel best. But then, there's always that diet culture of like, oh, but you're over 40. You need to be getting this set amount or this percentage of protein.
If the protein we ate immediately slapped itself onto our muscles,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it doesn't. It doesn't. It Jason Fung has a blog post about protein and like how much protein do you need? And it's an old one. It's one he wrote a long time ago. And there's a
Right.
quote in there, and I'm going to try to paraphrase it, but it's really funny and true. He said, if you look at how much protein Americans eat, we are eating way more. But he said it, the funny thing he said, and I'm going to paraphrase it, was if if eating too much protein caused us to build muscle, we would have a muscle epidemic in America right now.
Mm. That's a
We do
great
not.
point.
We do not have a muscle epidemic.
No, we don't. Sorry, my light just went off. But no, we don't. What
And
happened there?
that's all right. So anyway, be intuitive with your protein, work those
Okay.
muscles. When I'm intentional about building my muscles, I can do it easily. When I was going to Pilates once a week, my Pilates instructor was like, "Wow, you build muscle so quickly."
Yeah.
And I'm an intermittent faster. So trust your own study of one more than you trust somebody who doesn't know you and doesn't live in your body.
Yeah. That's great advice. It's so easy to get caught up in
Oh, yeah.
all of the different mixed signals out there and like so much advice. And I feel like while we didn't hear a lot about perimenopause or menopause for a
Mhm.
long time, and now it's everywhere and people are really marketing off of that, which can be, some of that's helpful, but I'm starting to feel like a lot of it is just misinformation and it's just kind of it's just marketing for a lot of people. It's a moneymaker. And like, okay,
Well,
well, how do we dial this in? And I've always been a big believer of like of eating intuitively. And I know what's good for us, right? Healthy food versus processed food and, natural food versus man-made food and things like
mhm,
that. But yeah, as we go into this phase of life, I'm like, okay, I really need to talk to some people who have
mhm.
gone through this like yourself. Like, you're just a tiny little bit ahead of me in life here. We're very close in age, but I know you're one step ahead and you've been doing this way longer than I have. And it's like I want to talk to people who have been through it and they can see the changes in their body and you've
Yeah.
had so many other people in your life that you've loved through that's the kind of advice and the kind of influence that I want, not
Yep.
just Instagram influencers saying, well, you have to
Absolutely.
have this and you have to do this. And I'm like, if that doesn't even make me feel great, and I get it, like, sometimes change is uncomfortable, and I'm not against, like, the clean fast, like, okay, I'm gonna do that. It's not gonna be comfortable for the first few days, I'm sure, but it'll
Right.
be fine. I'm not opposed to change that will
Mhm.
benefit me when I know that it actually is going to
Here's a little rule of thumb to when you're thinking someone's trying to, tell you something. Are they trying to sell you something?
benefit.
Like, a lot of the people who have these, like, they're trying to sell you something that you need. Like, if I was like, "For the clean fast, here's a product you must buy, and I'm gonna sell it to you," then you
Yeah,
should be suspicious of me and the clean fast, but actually, the clean fast saves you money. I got nothing I wish I did. I wish there was something you needed for the clean fast that I could sell you. I'd be selling it all day long, but there isn't.
well, yes.
You need less stuff. It's gonna save you money.
That's a really great point, though.
Right.
That's actually a really great point just for me to remember too of like, yeah, where is this influence coming from and what are they
Yeah,
getting from it? Because, here we are just having a great conversation and you're like, I'm not selling you. I'm just do the thing. It's free.
exactly. It's free. It'll probably help you live longer. You'll certainly feel better. and you don't need stuff. And,
Yeah.
when you're looking at the influencers who have something to sell you, you don't need all that for most of those things. What you want is a doctor who understands hormone replacement therapy, who understands how to get you through, the stage of life and beyond so that we can be strong. And you need to really trust yourself and understand, like you said before, if the food is from God, probably good. If it's from man, it probably is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, trusting myself. I think that's probably the biggest reminder that I'm needing, all along is yes, you're on the right path. Trust yourself, trust God's plan, trust his foods, trust his fasting. And
Wow.
it's not as complicated as probably we're all making it out to be, right?
True. It's so not this complicated. You asked about what was, the best window and what should we it's
Yeah.
really what feels like a lifestyle to you. For me, my window is loosely 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. now at this stage of my life, but sometimes the window's shorter, sometimes it's longer, it really depends. But
Yeah.
I can fit in great nutrition for my body within that period of time,
Wonderful.
and I don't stress about it. One day I might be hungrier and I'll have a little longer window, but the next day I'm really busy and my window ends up a little shorter. And I just really pay attention to how I feel.
Okay.
And, you get your blood work done. You go to the doctor. If you end up with, oh, you're deficient in B12. I'm just throwing that out there as an example. You take some B12, right? Or whatever you might need based on your blood work. But never forget, Danette, that you are a study of one and you can really trust how you feel.
Thank you. That's a really great reminder. Probably the best advice I've had in a while.
Well, I'm so glad. Well, so for everybody who is watching, if you're interested in talking to me on a support session, send me an email at jen@intermittentfastingstories.com. Tell me it's for YouTube and a little bit about why you're wanting to talk to me, and we'll set something up. Or if you're looking for a great community with other intermittent fasters who understand the questions you have, they understand your struggles, they will celebrate with you. Check us out at jenstevens.com/community. Those are the two ways to get in touch with me. And Danette, I'm so excited that you're going to start fasting clean
Perfect.
and fast on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.